On this video, I'm going to show you how to drive really smoothly. Let's go. So now moving off, the mistake that lots of people make is they bring up the clutch too fast. So you see there, it was quite rough the way I moved off there because I brought the clutch up too quickly. And a nice way to do this would be to bring the clutch up just to the biting point and then hold the clutch while adding some gas in the background. And now that's how the car moves off in a nice smooth way. So you notice that I'll hold it for about 3 seconds. So between 3 and 5 is good. Any quicker than that, the car's gonna move quite jerky. We're gonna turn right here, so mirror, mirror, signal right. And notice I'm not going too fast towards this junction here. And then because I'm in first gear, I'm gonna put my clutch down first and then brake really gently. Yeah. Check both sides, get to my biting point. I'm still holding the clutch still, and then I'm bringing up slowly now. And then add more gas, clutch down, into second, bring the clutch up smoothly, and then add gas. Yeah, so you notice there I brought it up really smoothly. Some people will bring it up really fast, and then they ask, why is the car being so jerky? It's because you brought the clutch up too fast. Braking really gently from early because I'm going to stop at this red light here. I'm not waiting until I get to the line, start slowing down or stopping. I was braking really early on, and then before the revs go too low, I'm going to clutch down and then into first gear and then smoothly off the brake just before I come to a full stop. That stops the car jolting forward. Like, you know, sometimes when you stop and you feel that little jolt forward, if you ease off the brake a tiny bit just before you come to a stop, you won't feel that jerk. So now it's going to do a little countdown for the traffic lights here. Now once it goes to amber, I'll start thinking about moving. And because it's downhill, I'm not going to stress too much about getting the biting point. So adding a bit of gas, bringing the clutch up smoothly. I can see there's nothing coming down the road from there. Check my right mirror, and then I can make my turn. Once I get here, get into second, smoothly up again, and then back on the gas as I bring my clutch up. Yeah, so we've got a green light up ahead, but it might change to red sometime soon. So I'm just keeping it in second for now at this sort of speed. Easing off the gas a bit because now it's getting a bit narrower and there's a person behind that van there. Yeah, checking my left mirror so I can keep to the left side of this road. And then red light, start braking really early and gently as well. So I'm going to show you what happens when people don't brake smoothly. So like now, instead of easing off the brake, I'm going to keep it on, and then some people will press it even harder like that, and then that's how you get that sharp stop. So to prevent that, you ease off the brake just before you stop. I'll show you on the next traffic light exactly what I'm talking about. And if you want to drive smoothly, you need to make sure you're in the correct gear as well. So right now I'm in second. It's not going to work if I try to move off in second. It's not going to be very smooth. So I'll make sure I go back into first and then into second. Checking the speed limit is 20 miles per hour. So I don't need to accelerate really fast here. I'm doing just, on my dial it's showing 20. It might show a different speed on the speedometer just there, but it's showing 20 miles per hour on my speedometer on the car's one. And then braking gently for the speed bump. So we've got this van in front of us here. Slowing down a bit more, give him time to do what he's doing, because you see he shouldn't have come out in front of me, but he did. So because he did that, I'm just ready for it to, so I don't have to brake really hard. I'm gonna turn right at this traffic light here. So center mirror, right mirror. I'll signal right and I'll stick to the right side as well. Then I'm gonna brake gently. So I wanna do this nice and smoothly. And then now I can ease off the brake, checking my right mirror before I turn. And then continue. Sometimes you can't help when it's rough like this because the road is rough. So there's nothing you can do about a rough road. But you can always make the drive smoother with your pedals. But if the road is really rough, there's not much you can do about having a smooth drive then. So this road is still 20. I can see lots of signs on the floor saying 20 as well. And then I'm approaching this speed bump, so just ease off the brake, ease off the gas, sorry, brake a little bit, and then carry on. you notice I'm not braking really hard for these brakes, for these speed bumps. Just easing off the gas is enough. If the bumps were a lot harder or a lot higher, then I'll probably think about braking as well. But because they're not that harsh, I can just ease off the gas a little bit, and that's enough for a nice smooth ride over the speed bumps. So like this one, for instance, just easing off the gas, and it's not too bad. But you need to think about how steep the speed bump is and how high it is as well. So like this one on this zebra crossing, it's not smooth like the other one. So I'm going to ease off the gas much earlier, maybe even brake a little bit as well, because look, this one's a lot harder and a lot sharper as well. So you need to be a bit slower on that one so it's smoother. We're going to turn left at this roundabout. So mirror, mirror, signal left. I can't really see, it's clear on the right, but it's really sharp on the left. So I'm going to go into first on the approach and then smoothly bring my clutch up so I can go into this turn really slowly, because you see how sharp it is. And also you have potentially people coming from that side. There's only space for one car as well. I've got horse riders in front of me here. So I'm just going to go really slowly, and I'm going to stop just here for them so that they can go past. And we've got a car behind them as well. So once they've gone past, I'm going to make my move. You don't realize how big horses are until you get close up to them. They're enormous. So once the last one is gone, and then we've got another car and a van behind us. So I'm just going to move forward a tiny bit with my clutch. Yeah. Checking my right mirror. And then now, so here the temptation is to come off the clutch really fast, and then you're going to get too close to this car or that close, or close to that car over there. Instead of doing it like that, let me show you how to move off when you've stopped behind parked cars. So let's say I've stopped here for somebody to go past, and then I want to move off again. Instead of bringing up the clutch really fast, what I'll do, make sure I check that side, check my blind spot as well. Hold my clutch here now when the car's moving. Maybe even bring it down a tiny bit. That way, my speed is controlled, and then I can manage my steering a lot better that way. Because if I brought the clutch up too fast or too high, it's going to go flying to the other side of the road, or potentially into the parked car as well. Yeah, so now I've got my, see a car coming down. Yeah, so it's all about looking ahead. That's how you drive smoothly. The earlier you see things happening, the smoother your drive is going to be. So like here, nice and smooth. Now that I'm straight up, I can bring my clutch up a bit more. And then into second. So I'm looking down the road and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do if I see anybody coming down. That's how you can drive smoothly. So that car coming down the road, I'm not going to ignore them. I'm already thinking about a space that they can go into or that I can go into. So there's a space. Yeah, so he's flashed me, but they could have gone here as well, or I could have gone there. But now that they've flashed me, I can now go. The temptation here is to start speeding up really fast. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to. They're waiting for me nicely, so I don't need to like rush. Lots of learners, when they see someone waiting for them, straight away they put their gas down thinking, yeah, I need to go there really quickly so I don't hold this person up. If the person's let you come through, they know you might take a bit long because it's a narrow road, so just take your time to go past them. So now looking, I'm driving down in the middle of the road here, and we've still got speed bumps as well, so I'm just gonna ease off the gas, maybe brake a bit because this one's quite hard, and then carry on. In second gear is fine for these road humps. So now that the road's getting a bit wider, I can think about using my own lane again. So like now, just check my left mirror, then I can move back a bit more towards the left. Braking gently for the speed bump, and then at the end I'm going to turn right. So mirror, mirror, signal right. Braking really early from here, because lots of people, when they coming up to a junction, they brake super late, especially learners when they first start learning to drive. They brake super late and then they wonder why the braking is hard. So I can see a car coming from the side, and I'm checking both sides here and this side as well, but now I can see that it's clear. I can come out and have one more look before I commit, and it's safe, and then bring my clutch up smoothly. It's still 20 miles per hour on this road, so I don't need to rush to get into like the high speeds. Just keeping it nice and smooth. And also, if you want smoother steering, don't do sharp turns like this. Yeah, because I see a lot of learners, when they're trying to keep the car straight, they'll go like here, and then they'll do a sharp turn there, and then they'll do this. That's not going to be very smooth. You notice when I'm doing the driving, I'm not really moving my steering wheel that much. I'm not keeping it still, but I'm doing small movements. Yeah, I'm doing small movements all the time, just keeping it straight. And I'll stop here, keeping the junction clear, temporary lights on, gonna make sure I don't block it. I can go into first, or I can go into neutral and have my handbrake on. You just want to make sure that here you don't roll backwards. Yeah, and the best way to not roll backwards is to make sure you got the biting point first before you try to do anything. So like now I've got my biting point, the car won't roll back. Yeah, it's not going to be smooth if I'm rolling backwards. So make sure I've got my bite, and then add some gas, keeping my clutch still, and then into second. Yeah, you notice my foot movements are really smooth and slow. I think a lot of learners, when they first start, they think you have to be really rough with the pedals and be really quick. Maybe they've seen too many films like that, but that's not how you drive smoothly in a manual car. Yeah, so like here, let this lady cross. Check behind this car as well, and it's looking good. So then I can bring my clutch just to there, hold it still, and then now all the way up. Braking gently, checking in between the vehicles for any other pedestrians. I can't see behind this van if there's anyone crossing the road, but now that I can see that's clear, and then I can carry on going to second. Yeah. And I'm barely touching the gas as well. That's another thing that you want to learn how to do. Don't press the gas really hard. In this kind of situation, like 20 mile per hour road, if I press down the gas really hard, straight away my speed is like 20 miles an hour straight away, and I could easily go over the speed limit. So you want to be really delicate with the pedals. It's like here, nice and gentle, into first, off the gas, off the brake, bring the clutch to the biting point, add a bit of gas, and then into second. And you notice as well, I'm doing my gear changing smoothly as well. Everything I'm doing is smooth. If you learn to do smooth movements with your hands and the feet, your car's going to respond in the same way as well. If you're rough with the pedals and rough with the hands when it comes to changing the gears, the car's going to respond in exactly the same way. It's going to be a rough ride. But if you're smooth with it, it's going to be a smooth ride. Yeah, coming up to a set of red lights. I'm hoping that I don't have to stop or change gear, so I'm just slowing down a little bit, and then when I get here I can increase my gas just a tiny bit, keeping an eye on the light because it might change. But once I get here, I know I'm not going to stop. I've already committed to going, then I can carry on now. So you see that if I rushed to go to those lights, I probably would have had to stop or change gears into first, but because I slowed down enough, I gave time for the lights to change and then people in front of me to move, and then that way I didn't have to come to a stop. Got a zebra crossing here, checking both sides. It's looking good. Then we have a traffic situation up ahead where we've got a bus. So it looks like the bus is really far away, like not the bus on this side, the bus over there. It's really far away, but it's going to affect us. And then there's also other vehicles between that bus and us that could affect us as well. Like this van came out and changed the way I was driving, so be prepared for that as well. Yeah, so this person crossing the road, the van has to stop for them. So think about how other drivers in front of you are going to be affected. So when people are crossing the road, they have to stop for them. So we've got this lady about to cross. So So just crept forward nicely with my clutch, and then now I can creep forward again. We've got more horses on the left. So with these, I don't want to rev my engine or go really fast past them. I'm just going to keep it nice and slow. Give them a bit of distance as well. And then now, I was going to go into second, but the light is changing to red, so it doesn't make sense to do that. So I can brake early and then clutch down nice and early as well, because it's in first gear, if you brake too much in first gear without using the clutch, it's going to start shaking and eventually it's going to stall. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So let's say I'm moving now, and then if I want to slow down because of this bus and I'm in first gear, if I slow down too much, yeah, now the car's rumbling now, it's about to stall. That's why when you're in first gear, you want to use the clutch first, especially at really low speeds, clutch first and then brake. Yeah, so like here. Yeah, I can go into second because that light's quite far away. I get asked a lot of learners say, oh, the light is red, is there any point me changing into second gear? And the answer is yes. If you're far enough away and you're going to go fast enough, you should be in second gear. Don't be driving around in first for no reason. Yeah, so the situation's getting a bit tight here with these two buses, so I'm just going to reduce my speed, checking my left so I can go to the left side. I can see the box junction as well, so road markings and spotting them early is really important to just move driving, because if I didn't see this early enough and then I saw it at the last second, I'd have to brake really hard to avoid stopping in the box, and that's not going to be smooth. So if you look at road markings early on and you spot them from far away, you can start braking early so that it's nice and smooth when you get near them. So now that the light is changing, check both sides, make sure those cars move so that I know I have space to go and clear the box junction. Space is not very big here because this blue car was a bit in the way, so I went slowly through there. So I've got a car maneuvering. This is something that a lot of learners don't realize. For some reason, when people are doing maneuvers like this, learners will just keep going thinking that the car's just gonna move out the way for them. If someone's doing a turn in the road like that, just slow down early and give them room to finish off the maneuver, and then once they're finished, then you can carry on and follow them. Don't just think they're going to move out your way, because that's, one, it's not safe, and two, you're not going to be very smooth driving that way. Let's turn left here. So this guy is coming around, there's nothing coming from that side over there, and then we can make our move. And then it's still 20 miles per hour, getting into second. Got lots of road humps on this road. And this one's quite nasty because it's like a zebra crossing one, and it's got potholes on top of it as well, so it's going to be extra rough. So that's why I went a little bit slower.